history of the sport with no exceptions.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And watch exclusively on ESPN Plus. Yo, check this out from Canty and Carlin.
Fantasy football was a phenomenon that really became big once I was done playing. But there were some guys that, when I played with that were big on playing cards and gambling in the back of the plane. And there would be a lot of heated arguments. So much so that once upon a time, Bill Parcells had to ban playing cards in the back of the plane just because it was going down the road and starting to fight in the locker room.
Check out Canty and Carlin. Weekdays on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus. SportsCenter All Night continues with Jay Reynolds.
Glad you can make SportsCenter All Night part of your night. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with the easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Avs take a 2-0 series lead in the West with a shutout of the Oilers in Game 2. Nike founder Phil Knight and Alan Smolinski, the part owner of the Dodgers, making a $2 billion offer to buy the Portland Trail Blazers. Celtics stun the Warriors with a fourth quarter comeback. Big fourth quarter to win their series opener of the NBA Finals.
10 seconds to go in the game. Sam Hauser gets it into the front court. The final seconds will tick down as the Boston Celtics come up with a 40-point fourth quarter and a stunning double-digit comeback to rally and win Game 1 of the NBA Finals on the road. Celtics take it 120-108 over the Golden State Warriors.
12-point win as the Celtics outscore the Warriors. Yes, 40-16 in the fourth quarter. Celtics take the opener in convincing fashion going away at the end. Jason Tatum from the Celtics says it's only the series opener.
Our last two series, we lost Game 1. This time of the season is so, you feel great after you win, and you feel terrible after you lose. You got to just be able to stay, mellow, stay balanced, especially this early. It's far from over, right? It's just one game. We got to be ready for them to respond as if, we would if we lost the first game. They're going to come out, they're going to make adjustments and things like that. So we have to be prepared, and just approach it one game at a time.
Celtics trailed by a dozen at the end of the third quarter. Third team in finals history to win when trailing by 12 or more to start the fourth. First since the Bulls in the 1992 Game 6. The game was here on ESPN Radio. Our crew who have the call, Doris Burke and PJ Carlissimo, alongside Mark Kestisher.
PJ, Doris, the final tally in the fourth quarter was 40-16. That's a 24-point difference and the biggest ever in any quarter, largest differential, any quarter in finals history. Wow, what a stunner.
Just triggered, I think, and you heard Monica say it, the play of Jaylen Brown, I thought, steadied the team. They were facing a deficit. He got downhill. He made threes. He scored. He assisted for others. When your stars settle you, everybody else settles in. And I can't say enough about Al Horford and Derek White. And I'm going to say what I said before. The Boston Celtics, Mark, when guys around the Jays make shots because of who they are defensively, to me, they feel unbeatable.
Al Horford went 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter, 2 triples. The Celtics went 9 for 12 in the fourth quarter. Horford, Jaylen Brown, and we can't forget Derek White, who stepped up tremendously, PJ.
Derek White was good for them the entire game, kind of kept them in it. There's no way they would have won. As important as the others were, they needed one of the Jays to step up, and Jaylen Brown did just that. And don't forget, it was certainly not just on the offensive end. They just locked up the Golden State Warriors defensively in the fourth quarter. Golden State came out and laid 38 points on them in the third quarter. Looked like they had taken control of the game, and then they just shut them down. 16 points in the fourth quarter.
The most shocking thing to me was there was a 2 to 3 or perhaps 4 minute stretch where the Golden State Warriors with guys who have 3 titles under their belt. They looked shaken, Mark. They were sped up. And then there was one possession, and I said it on air, where the ball, 4 different guys had what I would consider a good look at 3. All of them excellent three-point shooters, and every single one of them passed on the shot. That shocked me.
17-0 run in the midst of that, one of the biggest runs in finals history. Look, the Warriors have a knack of winning at least one road game. I think it's 26 straight series, and they're probably going to need that now after ceding home court advantage here. But how about the Celtics, who win 3 times in Miami in the conference finals and then pull a shocker here in San Francisco?
Best record on the road in the playoffs, and they just beat the team with the best home record in the playoffs. They've started so many consecutive series with first game wins, the Golden State Warriors. Not tonight. Steph Curry, magnificent first quarter, 7 for 9. He did play a good game, but he was 5 for 16 after the first quarter.
Well, in the NBA Finals, every game except between games 3 and 4 is 2 days off. This is going to be a very interesting 2 days for the Golden State Warriors, who've had a really good run here in this postseason. They got by Memphis in round 2. They took out Dallas in 5. They had all the rest. They're home for 12 straight days, bridging the end of the Western Finals, and before they go to Boston for Game 3. But this is just the second time ever that the Warriors have lost a Game 1 at home under Steve Kerr. They entered tonight 19-1, the only other loss to Oklahoma City back in 2016. Remember, famously, they came back from down 3-1 to win that final series. A fourth quarter explosion for the Celtics. They take Game 1 on the road, 120-108 over Golden State. For PJ Carlissimo, Doris Burke, Monica McNutt, our producer John Medani, our engineer Al Rosenberg, I'm Mark Kestisher. They'll do it from San Francisco.
As the Celtics take the first game by a dozen. Al Horford, 26 points in the win. Celtics a 17-0 run in the fourth quarter. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. From the Warriors side, it's the first time they've lost Game 1 at home in the NBA Finals. They had been 7-0, best record of any franchise. It's the first time they've trailed in a series this postseason. Coach Steve Kerr.
Well, it's different for sure. I mean, when you win Game 1 at home, there's a sense of comfort, and you kind of have a feel for your opponent at that point and make your adjustments, and so it's a different feeling. Obviously, you go into Game 2 with more of a sense of desperation, but that's all part of this stuff. We've been in this position before, and we've won series where we've lost the first game. We've won a road game, at least one road game, and I don't know how many consecutive series. So you always kind of assume you're going to have to win on the road to win a playoff series. So it's a different feeling, but it's still first 1 to 4.
Steve Kerr admitting there have been series where they've lost the first game, and that's true. But of the 24 series they've been in with Steve Kerr, they've only lost 3 opening games. Game 2 coming up Sunday. ABC has it, as do we. ESPN Radio, our coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Right now, SportsCenter all night to Oklahoma City. The 8 softball teams to reach the College World Series quadruple header on ESPN on Thursday was capped with a tremendous game to close out the opening night. Arizona was holding a 2-1 lead on Oklahoma State until the bottom of the 6th.
Pitch number 99 on the night is driven into center field, way back and gone. Carly Petty comes through. Dead center field into a mob at home plate with an Oklahoma State lead on her broad shoulders.
3-run home run. Oklahoma State beats Arizona 4-2. The Wildcats now play Oregon State on Friday in an elimination game. Oklahoma State will play Florida. They both won on Friday. They both won on Thursday. Oklahoma State and Florida. Florida, what they did in their opening game.
12 straight retired, 17 out of 18. Escobar at first, that's that. A relief performance for the ages for Natalie Lugo. 6 innings, 1 base runner out of the Gator bullpen, and Florida's offense continues to come to life in the postseason. 7-1. The Gators are chomping on in the winner's bracket.
Florida with the win in their opener, as you heard, Natalie Lugo came in relief in the second inning. Didn't allow a run, struck out 6, just 1 hit after coming in relief with the bases loaded.
Natalie, you come in the second inning and you hold Oregon State scoreless, only give up 1 hit. What was your mindset in the circle?
Just come in and pick up my pitchers back, have their back. You know, our staff is super close, and they know that if one of us is going to come out, the other one's going to come in and pick them up, and that's really all I tried to do. Lexi, she got her nerves out, and she's ready to go, and I know she's just going to shove from here on out, so I'm really excited for that, and I just had her back.
Your teammates had 13 hits, 7 runs to support you out there. How would you describe the total team effort on you all's first game in the Women's College World Series?
Just an overall great effort. I think, you know, we're just coming out here having fun. We don't really feel like there's a lot of expectations of us, so we're just having a good time, and that's just rolling with it.
Florida plays Oklahoma State on Saturday. As for the other matchups, Thursday, Texas, a 7-2 win over UCLA. Texas, 5th win by an unseeded team at the World Series since seeding began in 2005. UCLA now facing an elimination game against Northwestern on Friday. Northwestern running into an absolute buzzsaw in Oklahoma.
Janet Johns, deep fly ball, and back it goes! Second grand slam of the game for Oklahoma! When your number 9 hitter can go yard and hit your second grand slam of the game, you know you have a powerful offense.
First game in Women's College World Series history to feature multiple grand slams. Oklahoma the top seed with a rout, 13-2 over Northwestern. Game shortened to 5 innings because of the run rule. Let this one sink in. Oklahoma, 55 games this season, 39 of them have been wins by a run rule. 71% of their game have been mercies. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. To tennis, French Open, Coco Gauff reaches her first Grand Slam final. The 18-year-old American will be facing top-seeded Iga Swiatek for the title tomorrow to the guys at PTI.
Well, Bob, which winner would make for a better story?
Tony, you know I don't believe in that construct. I don't believe in that question. What's important here is the rise of not just these 2 women at their ages, 18, which you mentioned with Coco Gauff, and 21.
Yep.
21 years, 18 and 21. Now, teenage phenoms are not new to women's tennis. As a matter of fact, they often are the pillars of women's tennis. You think about Jennifer Capriati and Tracy Austin and Chris Evert if you want. But, Tony, there seems to be a wave of these young, talented women coming. And while they may not be in evidence at the moment, they're coming. And they're not all as young as 18 and 21. But men's and women's tennis, one reason I'm excited for this summer and watching the tournaments, and not just the slams, but also Cincinnati and Washington and things that you and I paid a lot of attention to when we were covering tennis actively. There seem to be so many talented young players that I just tune in for a while and go, wait a minute, who's this kid? And I'm doing that every time I tune in to whatever tournament it is now. Coco Gauff has been one of those for 3 years, but now there seems to be company. I think that's the larger story for tennis, men's and women's.
Teenage champions in tennis are irresistible. And one of the reasons is because you wonder about burnout. You mentioned Jennifer Capriati. That was a burnout situation. Steffi Graf was not a burnout situation. Very close to home now in terms of time. Naomi Osaka, we don't know what's going on there.
We don't know.
Okay,
That's right.
So that if an 18-year-old American girl, it's a great thing for American tennis because Serena Williams has been on top for so long and she's at the end, and everybody understands that. So that would be a wonderful story. I do not want to take away from Swiatek, though, because 34 matches in a row is a big deal. Now, it's not Martina. You'll hear these numbers, you go crazy. In Martina's career, she had a 74, a 58, a 54,
okay,
a 41. Steffi had a 66, Chris Evert had 55. But 35 is a big number. And there's a vacuum at the top of women's tennis right now because Serena is old, because Ash Barty has retired, and because Naomi Osaka, we don't know We don't know. So if Swiatek can become that player at only 21, that to me would be a very big deal.
Swiatek, Goff, the French Open final. That'll take place tomorrow. If at first you don't succeed, try. Well, just keep on trying to get a head coaching job in the NFL. That's next. Sports Center all night. It's ESPN Radio.
We did it, Jay. Jay and I beat Barton Hahn, and now you can hear the game and watch all the highlights of our big win. Huge win. Friday at 6:30 and 7:30 a.m. Eastern on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
More Sports Center all night. Next.
With YouTube TV, watch live TV like cable. You can